Yo, what's up, everyone? So, here's a wild thought. What if I told you that banking, like the whole concept of saving money, lending, and even making investments, wasn't some slick modern invention created by guys in suits? Nope. It actually goes way back, like way, way back to ancient Africa. Yeah, you heard me right. Africa had its own banking systems long before Europe even got its act together. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into some mind-blowing history that'll have you questioning everything you thought you knew about money. Let's get into it. So, let's rewind to centuries ago. We're in West Africa, places like Mali, Ghana, and Songhai. You've got cities like Timbuktu, Djenné, and Gao, just buzzing with trade, gold, salt, ivory, you name it. It's all being bought, sold, and traded like crazy. And with all that wealth moving around, people had to figure out some way to keep their valuables safe, track their transactions, and even, wait for it, hand out loans. Yeah, they were making money moves before the term even existed. One of the most fascinating systems that came out of all this was something called Susu. And listen, this was way more than just a casual village savings club. We're talking about a highly organized financial system practiced in places like Ghana and Nigeria. It's actually one of the oldest forms of microfinance, dating back hundreds of years. Here's how it worked. Communities would pool their resources. Everybody chipped in a certain amount of money or valuable goods on a regular basis. Then, that collected wealth would be given to one member of the group on a rotating basis. It's like a super sophisticated trust-based credit system. And if you didn't pay back what you owed, oh, you better believe your reputation would be wrecked. And back then, reputation was everything. But that's just scratching the surface. Let's talk about the Kingdom of Mali. And yeah, this is where the absolute legend, Mansa Musa, comes into play. The man who's considered the richest person in history. His empire was so wealthy and economically advanced, it actually had gold reserves, like legit vaults where they stored gold. I mean, who does that in the 1300s? Now, remember when Mansa Musa went on his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324? This guy brought so much gold with him that he literally crashed economies along the way, flooded the market with so much gold that prices dropped for years. That's not just flexing, that's economic power. But here's what's even crazier. They weren't just hoarding gold and calling it a day. They had systems for credit, debt management, and even investment. Merchants would give out goods on credit with agreed-upon terms for repayment. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's pretty much the foundation of modern credit systems. Now, let's hop over to Ethiopia, the ancient Aksumite Empire. These guys were on a whole different level. They were actually minting their own coins out of gold, silver, and copper, coins with kings' faces on them. And this wasn't just for decoration. It was about economic stability, establishing trade networks, and spreading their influence across borders. All while some parts of Europe were still bartering cows for grain. And I'm not done yet. Check this out. The Swahili Coast, stretching from modern-day Kenya to Mozambique. The merchant groups operating along the coast, they had some of the most structured financial agreements you could imagine. Credit systems, profit sharing, recorded contracts, all in play, especially when it came to maritime trade. They had partnerships that looked a whole lot like early investment companies. So, what's the takeaway here? Basically, while most of the world was still figuring out how to trade without getting ripped off, Africans had already developed systems of banking, credit, investment, and wealth management that were way ahead of their time. But you know why you haven't heard much about this? Because history books love to shine the spotlight on European systems while completely ignoring the fact that Africans were out here being straight-up financial geniuses. And honestly, that's a huge disservice to history. So, the next time someone tries to tell you banking is some fancy, modern invention, hit them with some ancient African wisdom. From the Susu system to gold vaults in Mali to minted coins in Aksum, Africans were setting the standard way before the world even caught on. All right, fam, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this little history trip, hit that like button, drop a comment, And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content.